Badimo just dropped an absolute bombshell. They officially announced that they are removing the drone from regular purchase and bringing a brand new hovering aerial vehicle called the Bionic, which is very clearly inspired by the long-lost Blade vehicle design that we all loved. This video is going to be extremely in-depth, covering everything you need to know about the drone becoming a limited-time vehicle, the arrival of the new Bionic, or as a lot of us are already calling it, the True Blade replacement, and what this means for you right now. So please stick around until the very end and listen carefully, because there's a ton of important info here that could help you make the smartest moves before this update hits. Now, before we discuss the Bionic and the drone going limited, we have to take a quick trip down memory lane. Let's go all the way back to August 2nd, 2020, when the original Blade was first added to Jailbreak. For those of you who weren't around back then or need a refresher, the Blade was a vehicle directly inspired by the iconic flying cars from the movie Blade Runner. It had one of the best overall performances of any aerial vehicle at the time. Its futuristic hovercar look became instantly legendary, and performance-wise, it was almost identical to what we later got with the drone, except the Blade had a slight top speed advantage, 165 miles per hour compared to the drone's 140 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the Blade suffered from a bunch of serious, long-term glitches. The most infamous one let players no-clip straight through walls by ramming the vehicle into a wall at the perfect moment, or another bug intentionally freezing the vehicle next to a wall, letting users within a building, like the jewelry store for instance, escape easily. There were also tons of other glitches that the devs considered basically unpatchable, plus a lot of speculation about copyright concerns with the Blade Runner design. Because of all this, the Blade was removed from the game just 2 months later, on October 6th, 2020, and every owner was given a full $1 million cash refund. As you can imagine, this caused a massive outcry in the Jailbreak community. The Blade was an incredible grinding vehicle, super fast, insanely maneuverable, and just fun to fly around the map. So, to calm everyone down, Badimo released the drone as its official replacement on November 8th, 2020. The drone kept most of the Blade's core functionality, but used a brand new model with spinning propellers to avoid the old glitches. It was a bit less durable, only 50 hit points instead of the Blade's tougher health, and, as I mentioned, a bit slower at 140 miles per hour, but it still cost the same $1 million and spawned in the exact same spot, the $1 million dealership. For the past 5 years, the drone has pretty much stayed unchanged. Until today, December 2nd, 2025, when Badimo suddenly announced that the drone is going limited on December 5th, 2025 and will be replaced by the brand new Bionic. Quick reminder before we keep going, if you want to stay fully updated on all the latest Jailbreak news, leaks, and reviews the second they drop, please consider subscribing to the channel and smashing that like button. It helps us out tremendously and motivates me to keep making these long, detailed videos for you guys. Alright, back to the update. So, here's the official teaser image and trailer footage of the Bionic, and wow, the design is strikingly similar to the original Blade, just a little more polished and refined. It looks like Badimo finally fixed all the issues that forced them to remove the Blade 5 years ago. That said, there are a few noticeable differences. In the trailer, the Bionic doesn't hover quite as high off the ground as the old Blade did, and there's no speedometer shown yet, so top speed is still speculative. From what we can see flying around the city though, it does look at least a little faster than the current drone. This video isn't here to definitively say whether the Bionic is a worthy successor to the Blade or a strict upgrade over the drone. That verdict will have to wait until it actually releases on December 5th. I'll be dropping a full side-by-side comparison and review video the moment it goes live, so stay tuned for that. Right now though, there's a mountain of information and speculation about the drone going limited that I want to break down for you, step by step. First things first, let's be 100% clear about the drone's future value. It is not going to be the next torpedo or beam hybrid or some insane limited vehicle anytime soon. Yes, it's still the only regular aerial vehicle that can actually fly and hover, but there are just way too many copies in circulation. The drone has been purchasable for almost exactly 5 years and 27 days. That's 1,853 days straight from November 8th, 2020 until December 5th, 2025. Because of that massive supply, the Jailbreak trading network value system will almost certainly start the drone at exactly 1 million in-game cash value once it goes limited, guaranteed not lower, because that's what it costs to buy. Whether it ever climbs above 1 million will completely depend on how good or bad the Bionic turns out to be as a replacement. So, here's my advice. If you don't own a drone right now and you have a bunch of other obtainable vehicles in your garage, you might want to trade up to a drone, either in the next 3 days while it's still on sale or even after it goes limited. The starting price should be basically the same either way. Now, let's talk early Bionic speculation. If the Bionic ends up being faster for grinding contracts and robberies while still having a decent hovering height, then, in my opinion, the drone is going to lose a lot of its practical use almost overnight. The biggest question on everyone's mind is, will the Bionic be spawnable anywhere with the Premium Garage Game Pass, like the Crew Capsule or Celsius? If yes, then honestly, the drone becomes pretty much obsolete, because instantly calling in a hovering vehicle anywhere on the map is super convenient and a lot more accessible and time-saving than going to scarce helicopter spawn pads around the map, even if the characteristics of Premium Garage spawned vehicles are reduced to offer that convenience. If the Bionic was spawnable through the Premium Garage, that would be insanely strong, maybe even game-breaking, given that probably everyone would be using it just like how many Celsius or Crew Capsule owners do, so I'm leaning toward no. It's more likely the Bionic will work like the current drone and only spawn on helicopter pads around the map when you take into consideration the Bionic is staying in the game for good this time. That means this weekend we'll finally get the real answer. When you're standing at a helipad, which one are you going to pick? The drone or the Bionic? Personally, I'll take the faster vehicle even if it hovers a little lower, which seems to be exactly what the Bionic is shaping up to be. The only scenario where I could see the drone shooting up in value to, say, 2 to 5 million or higher is if the Bionic somehow ends up worse in every single way, which feels extremely unlikely. In that case, people without the Premium Garage would still want the drone for its superior hovering and flight capabilities. We'll know for sure in just a few days, so definitely hit that subscribe button. I'll have a full performance review and verdict video up the moment the update drops. And just to answer a question I can already predict seeing in this video's comments, no, I do not believe the Bionic and drone will have identical stats. That would completely defeat the purpose of replacing one with the other. So, bottom line, on grinding for a drone before it goes off sale, in my honest opinion, it's really not that urgent or necessary given the insane supply. Right now, there are over 15,460 drone copies actively circulating in the trading scene, and they're being traded more than 68,257 times per month. You can check these live stats anytime on jailbreaktradingnetwork.com. It's all pulled directly from in-game data. Even after the Bionic drops, vehicles like the Crew Capsule and Celsius are still going to remain kings because they can spawn literally anywhere with the Premium Garage Game Pass. Being able to instantly call in a fast vehicle the second you escape prison is just unbeatable utility, and nothing we've seen so far suggests that's changing. If that ever does change, I'll let you know immediately with an updated value video. All in all, this is a super interesting and nostalgic update for Jailbreak, and I'm genuinely excited to see how the community reacts once the Bionic is in our hands. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'll be reading and replying to as many as I possibly can. Do you think this is basically the Blade coming home, or are you worried the drone is about to lose all value? Let me know. That's going to be it from me today, and I'll catch you all in the next one very soon.